Hi, I'm Wendy Strgar, and thanks for joining me here again for Yoga for Sexual Health here in my little home studio with my good friend Caitlin Young and my yoga teacher. And this week we're going to start with something a little bit new. We've been talking about this for a few weeks, and the heart opening series for sexual health. And even though this isn't the part of the body that you think of, for sexual health, really it's so important. And maybe you can just talk about why it's so important.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bringing emotions to our sexual relationships, and the heart and the structures and muscles that surround the heart are a really literal way to access that power, that potential, that emotional connection.
Right.
So we're going to do some work to free up, to open up through the heart and also through the throat. We'll be kind of moving into the upper extremities here. And the throat, traditionally, the throat chakra is speaking your personal truth or speaking your truth. And
so as we open this up, then we'll be able to have more access into this place where we can speak. But also, I think it's really important to note, and I know it happens to me, is that it's really easy to be like constricted at the back of your heart.
Oh, yeah.
Because the back is where we receive and the front is actually where we give. A lot of people don't know that. So, for many people it's harder to receive than it is to give. So these exercises are really,
And I think well, that's a great point. And I think the back of the heart, absolutely, and also the front of the heart. And we see a lot of people
close
this kind of kyphotic posture, really tight pecs, and I've heard people even refer to this as armoring the heart. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, we often feel that we've been conditioned to the point that we need to armor our heart. We need to protect our heart. So hopefully through a self-yoga practice, you can open yourself up to be able to give and receive.
Right. So that's a big key. And that said, we also want to tell people that we warmed up a little bit before we even did this, because usually you don't get to this part of the practice till later in the class. So you had suggested maybe you want to go back and do the sun salutations video before you do this.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a few warm-ups because here's the thing, even if you don't do the practices that we're going to go into, if you just do these warm-ups, you're going to have a lot more space and mobility in your upper body, which really, it's like physiologically, that's what you have to do to receive love and to give love. So we're going to start. She's going to lead us.
Some little warm-ups here. So let's start with some shoulder rolls. We'll take it 3 rolls in each direction, getting out those clicks or pops or clumps.
Yeah, it's like there's places where it just like I can't even go,
catches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then coming to stillness, let's drop the head right ear to right shoulder. Breathing into that left side of the neck. And if you wanted to take this deeper, no need to, but if you choose to, you could try pressing down through that left palm. Another option to go even deeper would be to take the right hand up and over and reach for the left temple. And this is a big stretch, so listen to your body.
Yeah, and so I can't even always do this.
Yeah. And then use that right hand to help yourself up to center. And then take the left ear to the left shoulder. And pressing down through the right palm. So we're stretching into the SCM, the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Big time muscle that connects the skull to the collarbone. Very tight for a lot of people. And so if you wanted to take that deeper stretch, feel free. And then help yourself back up to center. And you could hold this for a long time. Sometimes I wish I could stay here for, 5 minutes. Because
actually I have to say that the hand thing really kind of draws this energy down.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of a nice addition. And doesn't actually pull more, but I feel like extends the stretch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That downward rooting. So let's come to face each other, and we'll come into a side stretch. And maybe we could just mirror each other here. So we'll both root down through this hand and stretch up and over through the opposite hand.
And so we want both side bodies to be long, right?
We want both side bodies to be long. And I'm seeing you might even be able to shift the ribs over a little bit, root down through that right hip, and then stretch up and over.
Yeah. That's totally different.
Yeah, and then let the breath move into the little spaces between your ribs. Reach long through those right fingertips.
Because what's easy, I think, for people to do, what I was just doing, is this kind of collapsing thing, right? So it's like you've got the right pose. if you're actually feeling taller.
Absolutely.
It's like, the side stretch isn't just about like this bending, it's about lengthening, right?
It is, and it looks so different. The whole presentation is completely different, and the head stays in line with the spine.
Right, and otherwise you can, I think, compromise your neck doing this if you're doing it the other way, right?
Yeah, so this is what we don't want, right? The broken stem or the broken bud. But the head's long in line with the spine. We're stretching up more than over.
And so I am actually rooting down here and again, order of operations, still using my pelvic floor even to open up my upper body.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's actually kind of a revelation, I feel like, for me.
Yeah, putting on the seatbelt before you drive, right? Safety first.
Right. Okay, so we're going to do this first pose now that we're a little warmed up. And like I said, even if you just warm up this part of your body, you're going to feel a lot more opening to live in your days.
Absolutely. Yeah, the awareness piece.
So do you want to show this next one?
Sure. So we're going to start with Sphinx pose. And this is building upon what we went over in the Sun Salutation series. So we'll start out with the forehead down, the toes down, and a nice big breath into the low belly.
So you're really kind of using this and rooting down, right?
Not quite yet. First thing is just to soften. And then the exhale breath draws the belly button toward the spine, presses the pubic bone down toward the floor. Shoulder blades slide down the back. Remember that belly, lats, and then we lift the head like we're watching a little ladybug crawl away. We're going to slide the arms forward so the forearms are down, the elbows are under the shoulders, and from there we rise up. So we're opening up through the heart. We're opening up through the whole front of the body.
And are you feeling like, are you working these muscles here?
Yes, I am. I'm working those muscles. I'm working my triceps in the back of my arms. And one thing that's really important here is the position of the head, because sometimes it feels like, oh, I want to get a really big back bend and I'm just going to kind of break my neck back. But we want even length, right? Even length to the front and the back of the neck.
So you're not really coming back. If you're having a bend come anywhere, you're having it come right here. This is really where the bend is, in the mid back, where we're always so tight.
Yeah, well,
so I might not be
kind of a continuous curve to the whole spine here.
And I might not actually even be that high up.
No, and I'm pretty flexible in my spine, so it's going to look really different for everybody. So let's go ahead and
so it's going to look really different for me, you guys. And I think what's important that you're always telling me is about how it feels, not how it looks.
Absolutely. You got it. Okay, so we're relaxing the top of the feet. And let's start by just relaxing the low belly and taking a big breath into the low belly. The exhale breath draws the belly button toward the spine, presses the pubic bone down, and softens the glutes. Good. Let's take another breath in, maintaining that abdominal connection if you can. And exhale, belly, lats, and then we start to lift, sliding the elbows forward so that they come underneath the shoulders. Yes, the shoulder blades draw down, the crown of the head grows long, and we're going to hold here for a few breaths with a focus on inhale as we lengthen, exhale as we tone, navel to spine. Beautiful, nice. So I see a really natural curve. You have to be holding
your pelvis that whole time, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can't let go. That's the foundation. That's the stability from a place that we can begin to open. And I like the image of a smiley face with the collarbone. So there's a little tiny turn up at the tips of the collarbones to smile forward. And then with your next exhale breath, draw the elbows down, relax the head all the way down. And then let's take a little counter pose to child's pose. So pressing the hips back to the heels. Nice way to release the lower back after some extension. So that's our Sphinx pose. Good.
And it really does help to actually go into child's pose after that, because, you are really... So this is the beautiful thing about sexual health for yoga for sexual health, is that really there's never a time when you're not really living in your pelvic bowl, even when you're opening your heart.
Absolutely. Right? And another thing that I've learned about sexual health in that particular pose is when you're rooting down, you're pressing down through the pubic bone, you're actually stimulating production of fresh blood to the pelvis. So you're kind of cleansing your sexual organs with fresh blood, and that's
right. And awesome. It's pretty interesting actually how, this idea of opening your heart is actually also strengthening, your pelvic area. So, so that's why it's all connected. So anyway,
stay with us as we go a little bit deeper. These next two poses, we're going to explore Shalambhasana and perhaps bow pose.
Yeah. So we'll be right back. Don't miss it. Thanks.